Bem-vindo ao VoiceOver. O VoiceOver descreve em voz alta os itens na tela e pode ser usado para controlar o computador usando apenas o seu teclado. Se você já sabe como utilizar o VoiceOver, pressione a tecla V agora. Se você deseja aprender como usar o VoiceOver, pressione a barra de espaço agora.
Olá, olá, bom dia.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Patricia Cioli. I'm here in São Paulo. It's so cold in here. I need this human heat from TechWeek so we can be warm together. Welcome you all to TechWeek, our knowledge marathon. And you know everything about it, but let's enjoy each moment because tomorrow is our last day. Along this week, as you know, we received in this stage many guests and the audience in love with everything that has to do with technology, future, and people, and also digitalization. We had here people that are innovating with open minds and hearts for change. Is the sense of what we are discussing in here. For the ones that couldn't be here along the week, you know me. I'm always here, Patricia Ascioli. I'm in charge of communication area of Latin America. All the content is available on Scanner Brazil YouTube channel with a playlist exclusive with Tech Week videos. If you lost anything, you can go there and be inside everything that is happening here. But before following with the program we have today, we'll recap the previous day, the insights we had from our chat yesterday. It was a very rich meeting. You participated with us. So let's remind what happened. We had the presence of our new friend, Yumi, the robot, here on the stage. reinforcing the great potential we have to grow in automation, and also growing with harmony between robotics, automation, and also humans. We also talked about the future as the present. It will be collaborative. We brought in here this issue of how to collaborate, being together, not only with robots, but among ourselves, building with the multi-functionality word. Functionality, what a difficult word. Carolina from Nestlé told about mobilizing the society in a sustainable way. That will be the task of the big organizations, all of them, and more. She's in an area that connects innovation, digital transformation, and sustainability. She explained beautifully how they connect all these areas. She told that technology is enabling. It's not only technology by technology, it's passing through people, you that is watching us today. People driven, she talked about that. It was so inspiring. Digital transformation will be, in the end of the day, the key, so centenary companies as us to keeping themselves competitive. And what did you think about yesterday? You can talk to us through the chat. You can share your insights with us. But today, the chat will be around the customer. It will change, but the focus is the same, because in the end, you know, everything starts and ends in the customer, right? We'll have a look to customer experience, how these new ways of relations are working in our business, and the trends of our industry. How is the logistic transportation ecosystem? Will it change? We will see some real cases, example of how innovation arises. It arises from insights, but it becomes reality through persistence and attitude. That's it. It's kind of a stack, but it's customer guided too, right? And digitalization supporting business and trends guiding our view of the future. It will be awesome. Today will be awesome. Before that, well, let's tell you some general information on housekeeping, so everybody will be in the same page. In this event, as you know, it's 100% virtual event because of the sad pandemic, but here we are following all the protocols, distancing, health protocols to assure and offering to you all a safe event, okay? That's clear, so let's move on. TechWeek is daily broadcasted through Scanner Brazil channel from 10 to noon. We have simultaneous translation for the ones out of Brazil. Follow with us, Portuguese, English, and Spanish. You only have to choose down the screen the link to follow in the language you choose. So let's move on. We have so many things for you. And your interaction, it's what making the show going on. We have your questions to our guests and many comments in the chat. We're bringing you here every time to the center of our conversation. And if you want to be part of our VIP box, it's so cool. TechWeek is loving our VIP area. If you want to be part of it, you have time, you have your cell phone, you are on your PC, send your email to techweek@scanner.com, and then we'll send you to the VIP area, okay? And talking about interaction, I cannot speak by myself all the time. I will call Juliana, to talk about the interaction, what is happening right now. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Patty. So good to be here with you again in this day of Tech Week. It's fantastic. Everybody, so excited in our chat and in our VIP area. Let's check the guys who have a privileged place. Good morning to you all. How are you? Such a human heat. Now I'm warmed. Now we can start with right food this Tech Week. Everybody's so excited. Please keep this throughout the programming. Of course, we have a surprise for you. Yes, you will not miss that. The ones that loved Yumi yesterday, we prepared something awesome for you today. The ones that follow Tech Week advertising our channel, you saw one of the posts we made, a very cute partner, Jack and Peppy, the puppies. Do you believe they have an Instagram account? You can follow them with @Jack and Peppy. These two dogs are the pets from Alzira, from our communication team at Scanner, doing nice things to make our Tech Week amazing for you all. And talking about Alzira and puppies, where is Alzira? I can't believe that. So cute. They are here with us. Alzira, it's awesome. Hello, Ju and Tati. Look at them. How are you? Awesome. Such amazing. Who's Jack and Peppy? The green one is Jack and the blue one is Peppy. Awesome. Are you enjoying Tech Week? Are they enjoying? They are loving it. They are so excited for the day. They are really connected. And all over the preparation of Tech Week, they were in many of the meetings. They were always barking, doing a mess, but they are really connected. They are really excited to see the result of in Tech Week today. Alzira, Jack, and Peppy follow us until noon. They're following us through the chat or the VIP area on YouTube. Please send a message if you like our puppies in here. And thank you. We'll see you again soon. Alzira, everybody is talking about your dogs. They are so cute. Tech Week is about human beings and how we interact with robots and our pets too. Jack and Peppy are here, and you have to be here too with us. Everybody, we have so many comments on the chat. You can keep sending messages, questions. We are always here taking a look at everything. Now we're talking about the daily schedule. We'll start the day in our morning with the personnel from the commercial area of Scania, how technology supports the customer relation. We talk about that. Felipe Vaz will be here, connected service of Scania Brazil area. In the sequence, we'll have Lana Piccoli, marketing from Scania Brazil, and from Peru, Sandra Huerta, he's in charge of marketing and communication, Scania Peru. You see, Tech Week is pop and is international. We brought guests from everywhere in the world. And now, to end, we'll talk about connectivity, mobility, and new consumption habits in the digital era. We have two guests, Renata Fuchs from Accenture and Huber Mastellari from Lots Group. I'm sure, Ju, they were not expecting the puppies, to see the puppies in here. Do you know anyone that is not following Tech Week? Please send the link, put it in here. This person will like it after this super agenda Ju just shared with us. And to welcome our guests and start our event and our chat today, I would like to call him. Recently arriving to the Vice Presidency of Sales and Market here at Scania, he started his journey as a trainee. Yes, he's a surfboarder, and also he took the challenge of supporting the business units to propel Scania solutions and making 2.0 sales and marketing. Please, Paulo Moraes, come here to Tech Week. Where are you? Hello, Ju, Patricia, good morning. Are you hearing me? Perfectly. You are inside Tech Week. It's on you now. Thank you for the surfboarder. I'm a sufferer boarder, in fact. Jack and Peppy, they are celebrities. We have celebrities in this event. As a voice in sales and marketing is this nice event. I just starting reinforcing what Patricia said. Customer first, everything starts and ends with customer. It's a huge pleasure to be here with you in this chat. it really contributes to our business and our customers' business and what's matter in the end. Talking about data, besides, they accelerate our innovation, the development of our products and solutions is a priceless resource because it's a facilitator of our journey towards the sustainable transportation ecosystem. That's what we want in transformation. It's impossible doing that without data, as data are very valuable. Our customer relation is also very valuable. And much of what we're talking here on TechWeek is about that. Customer is our guiding star. All this increasing technology, this disruptive view we are seeing here, there's always this need, there's a pain, there's a challenge, a problem to be solved, and Scania provides solutions. That makes sense in the point of view of business sustainability to our business, and working close to our customers and with effective collaboration, participative collaboration, we can understand how to fit our solutions. In fact, how connectivity participates on it. It's in fact what is changing the game, because the exchange of information in the way of data, it's intense. And to know transportation system, to be sure that the solution we are providing is efficient, we need this information. That's an information that it's like a powder gold for us. We need lower costs to have we need to have a good data exchange and generating information that worth gold for us to make something tailor-made, as we say, according to the need. Today in the world, Scania has more than 500,000 vehicles connected. In Brazil, we launched this services in 2017. We have 44,000 vehicles connected. In proportion, Latin America is really good because the benefit of connectivity is clear, is obvious, and it's a benefit to the side of the customer and to the side of Scania. It's a valuable information exchange. When analyzing data, to have a pragmatic analysis over the facts, we eliminate the bias, decisions which are less emotional and more towards numbers later. From numbers, we have results. And then today, the data lake concept is essential, and it will help us in this management and in the offer of best solutions. So here at Scania, intelligent application of technology is our ally, our competitive differential. In what we are proposing, we have this solution. We need to prove we have the best solution through data use, connectivity, along with autonomy and electrification, themes that are appearing each time more. They're clear for our transportation sector. They are our reality, and we have a sea of opportunities, many good challenges ahead. And for sure, they will instigate everybody working for Scania in an interface with Scania and the ones that will work with Scania, because it will be an appeal for the ones that want to grow professionally. And through this connectivity, understand real-time performance, understand how the driver is driving his vehicle, how can we improve our solution, identify improvement points, bottlenecks, and optimize everything. For example, when we're talking about fuel consumption, important part of the operation cost, sustainability, an important word for Scania. Our purpose is environmental sustainability, financial, economic sustainability, on what refers to human relations too. And now, since we are based on data, each time more we are doing things right. We are less susceptible to mistaken interpretations, and everything makes sense in the business point of view. I have the challenge in here to talk about sales and marketing. It's a pleasure for me. And now I'm coming back to the customer profitability. Customer profitability, it's what keeps our business alive. And all Scania's interfaces, when we have conditions of understanding these interfaces based on data, we have the opportunity of directing our offer, our solution, maximizing results, minimizing risks. I can close it here. So many good things in our agenda today. It's a pleasure to be here with you in this event that's so good. I invite you to explore the possibilities in logistics and transport world that is now 100% digital. It's really nice being part of this transformation we are living, and there's so much more to come. Thank you very much for opening so I can participate on it and follow with a good event. I'll be connected in here, Patricia. Thank you. You talk about sea. I think it's an ocean, and we surf on it. We'll not struggle. And we have a comment from Lucas Lima. Lucas Lima is telling the best advertising is the one made by a satisfied customer. What's gonna have is satisfying customers. We know that's it, but let's learn with them. Let's learn what we are doing with them. Thank you, Paulo. Stay tuned with us. Following, we have so many things ahead.
We're going to put you in the right vibe of what's going on here. We have our very famous survey. Which one do you think is the biggest gain in connectivity of transportation? Can we put our survey here? Great. You can see it already. What do you think is the biggest gain of connectivity in transportation? Support in decision making, cost reduction. It's hard nowadays. Emission reduction, previsibility. Wow, that's a tough word. Efficiency increase and disponibility increase, reduction of stoppage. You know how to do it. Scan the QR code on the screen, but the link is already on the chat for you to participate. The QR code will be on the top left bottom of the screen. You can vote and be connected with us. We will check the result soon. That's it, Ju? Yes, that's it, Pachi. I want to call our first guest and talk about connectivity. You will also be able to cheat a little. We will talk about those connected vehicles and all the data that they provide. They are very useful tools. And looking into our huge fleet of trucks that are on Brazilian roads, Felipe Vaz developed a fantastic tool called Scania Feet. This innovation was so successful that Felipe was a finalist of a global competition, the Analytics Award, promoted by Scania to stimulate data analysis. So our first guest, let's see if he's already with us. Good morning, Felipe. Are you here with us? I can hear you well. Good morning. Juliana, can you guys hear me? Yes, we can hear you perfectly. Thank you for being here at TechWeek. And tell us, what is Scania Fit? What was the process of developing this tool? Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for everybody watching us today. Thank you, Patricia, Juliana. This tool is to transform this mass of data of the 44,000 connected vehicles in Brazil and to turn that into action and decision making. How to use this data that's coming to us. This tool that you can see on the screen is enabled when the customer has the Scania connectivity. Their drivers can access the app in the portal. And bringing this data to Scania enabled us to create this tool to prospect customers. Basically, it directs the efforts of the organization, prospect customers for the needs that they really have. If the customer needs training for a specific driver, we can ID this driver that needs training. So, giving support to the business. We have also seen other situations, such as last year, a huge pandemic crisis, providing support for the customer's difficulties, and being together, consulting for that customer, helping them. So the FIT is a tool where we use machine learning techniques to ID how this customer has their fleet, how the drivers are driving it, if there is a space to perfect it, to perfect the style of driving. So identifying the potential economy that this customer can have, Scania will go to that customer and offer their solution, offer driver training, driver coach, further connectivity that can enable them to be in touch with that data and using that to manage their fleet. So let me see if we can understand it correctly. We are talking about two different tools. We have the system of fleet management for the customer that already has connectivity services at Scania, they have it, and Scania Fleet, the tool that you developed that can help the vendor, the sales representative, to prospect and make business. Exactly. The vehicle, the minute that they are connected, the customer has the information about their vehicles. And that information is very helpful to optimize their fleet. The fleet tool is an internal tool. So they can ID the customer that needs some support, then the sales representative can provide the support. We know we are on this general data protection law. We must be very careful when accessing data. You know, I'm sure that when you get access for data usage, you start this prospection data. But how do you transform this data into business? First step is to diagnose this customer, and that is done through machine learning. Machine learning will be applied using the specific operation for that customer, identifying when they're working, what is the type of driving for the route, and comparing it with vehicles that are doing similar operations that that customer is doing. This way, we can identify the group of operation for that vehicle, and we can compare with other vehicles that are in the same operation and identify if they have room for improvement, if they're, for example, an A or an E on the scaling grade. And this way we can know how to manage the drivability of the vehicle. I'll ask you your question later. You can go on with your train of thought. What you're seeing on the screen now is the customer portal. From the moment Scania has identified this customer that needed support, the customer can hire the connectivity services from Scania. They will access this platform that will rank which drivers need training and so on to improve drivability and to improve fuel usage and all of that. You're talking about driver coach and driver training. If they don't know our world, Scania, maybe they're not from the transportation sector. What is that? Driver training and driver coaching are methods that Scania uses. We have professionals in all parts of Brazil that provides this training for drivers based on the data of drivers and vehicles. They can identify which point needs improvement. You can see on the screen we have 6 driving parameters, and from this diagnosis of the 6 driving parameters, Scania can provide specific training for that driver. If we see that they have, for example, a C in slow gear, they would have to reduce time in slow gear for this operation, or have better driving on downhill. They are there to show the technique, show how the driver can work with the maximum capacity of their vehicle. Everybody's listening to you. We have many comments here. Let's see what's going on here on our chat. Alex Baruco is here with us, and he said, FIT was developed in Brazil and exported to the world. I'm so proud. It's machine learning from San Bernardo to the world. He also says that FIT is changing how the sales teams are talking to our customer. It's a view on continuous improvement. It's great to know we are taking a look into that. Our friend Miguel is saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm lost. He said, oh, I know the FIT tool and said it's wonderful. Elisangela is here on the chat with us. She's been following us on our chat. Do you have further questions for Felipe? Yes, he talked about the driver training, driver coach, and how that can improve the way they drive. That surely impacts on fuel consumption and sustainability. But my question has to do with that, Felipe. We have interesting data from Scania FIT, which is the reduction of CO2 per driven kilometer. Companies are looking for a more sustainable solution, and it's common for multinationals to have reduction goals well defined, and many of them can be achieved. But my question is how data analysis can contribute to reduce the CO2 emissions. What are you actually doing to help this customer reducing their emissions? This customer, this multinational, they can say they can reduce their footprint. This is such an interesting question. We do this analysis of the economy potential that this customer could have. From this economy potential and from the data parameters, data conduction parameters, we can do an ID, an exact ID of the parameter that the customer needs to improve. And from this diagnosis, we can have the potential on fuel reduction. This fuel reduction reflects in less CO2 emissions in the environment. And that's the magic of the tool. It shows the potential of the fleet based on the operation they have. And also how much this customer would fail to in the emissions. What is their potential? So this tool has this consulting power for the sales team to provide to the customers and made the approach much easier. The way of offering a service, the way of really engaging the customer into going into this sustainability path. Basically, that's it. Great, Felipe. That's so interesting. We say that Scania has this objective of decarbonizing the transportation sector. And you really are saying how you understand customer, you help customer to understand numbers and contribute to the reduction of emissions. We're going to stop with Felipe now because we have many guests to go. Felipe, thank you so much for your presence at TechWeek. Our talk will be the hook for our morning, but we need to know the results of the survey. Let's see what our friends have answered. Which do you think is the biggest gain with connectivity of transportation? Wow, efficiency increase. That's what you consider the biggest gain for the connectivity, the digitalization. We really have a lot of room for improvement. We also have support for decision making. It has to do with a lot of what we're saying this week. Thank you so much for participating. We're going to have other surveys here, but we're going to continue with our talk here. We have other people waiting to join us. Yes, let's move on. With our guest this week, we have talking a lot about the change in behavior for the consumer. In transportation, this would not be different. Our customers could not go to shops anymore, could not meet with sales representatives personally. So this changed a lot, especially at Scania, where we have customer at the center of everything. Our eye-to-eye relationships have been replaced by screens. How sales has adapted to these changes. This is our talk now. So to talk about this team, we invited Lana Piccoli, which is a propaganda manager and marketing manager, and Sandra Huerta, marketing and communication manager from Scania, Peru. Good morning, girls. Welcome to TechWeek. Good morning. Good morning, Sandra. It's such a pleasure to have you here today. I will start talking to Lana, that will be talking about this work at Scania from Brazil. Tell me, what changed this year with the customer's experience with the brand? Hi, Ju and Pachi. Hi, Sandra. Good morning, everyone. I was so excited. I was so excited for Thursday. It took so long. It's so great to be here with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really hope to contribute to the discussion. We've talked about Scania, just recapping, as Pachi mentioned, we talked about digital transformation, why we need to think differently, why do we have these cultural changes, this agile culture. Scania is really thinking about that. And as you have seen, we are bringing a lot of innovation for the business. When we want to talk to the customer, that could not be different. We think that to get in the game and bringing this information to the customer regarding what the customer needs to make a decision about the way of consumption or about the service they're looking for, we need to go the extra mile. This digital transformation made us thinking that this needs to be a thrilling experience for the customer. we cannot only talk about excelling in services and quality, we need to talk about the experience they have with our brand and our portfolio and make this a relevant experience. The key words when we're talking about marketing and communication is relevance. And we talk about content relevance at Scania. This is our motto for marketing and communication. Not everything we say is what the customer wants to hear. And as customers, we need to put themselves at that place. We have a lot of things to talk about: Scania, connectivity, digitalization, fuel efficiency. But how can I bring that into my customer's mind and make him understand that that's important for him and help him into this journey? This is what we believe, to bring relevant content, and all of that we have been doing 6 years from now through connectivity tools, digitalization, and all the digital world. We're trying to do this in a more humane way. This is what we call the digital humanized relationship. You talked a lot about last year, how we lived that loss of the eye to eye with customer, but we were really ahead in this digital presence in the market. We had website structures, social media, a lot of content and tools that the customer, for example, can build their truck inside Scania's website, and then from there get in touch with the sales representative. We could establish, we were very happy because we were established regarding digital tools. We already had this type of dialogue with the customer, and that really helped sales and helped when customer is trying to do the search online. This is one of the factors that we changed, and we're being able to get great objectives.
Now I'd like to talk from the seller side. What is the biggest challenge to adapt to this digital world? You said the journey started back then, but there were many changes in the way of thinking and acting our sales force. Can you explain me about this change? This brand presence in the digital environment is not a process only from Scania. It's a process that companies are currently, all of them have to have it. You are seeking products, searching products as we used to do. We used to run around the shopping mall, going from shop to shop, looking for the product. Now you are at home in your computer or on the cell phone in the palm of your hand. And this made us to prepare all these environments. One of is kind of configurator you're seeing on screen. And along with these environments, we also had to start to doctrinating, taking this knowledge to the sales force. So today, the customer that used to, is not that he will stop talking to you. On the contrary, this relationship, this eye in the eyes is fundamental. We're not selling shoes, we're selling trucks, chassis, and connected services. Those are complex products. We need to make a solution sale as we talk to the customer. So the seller needs to be a focal point, an extremely important one. What we need is providing tools so they can make this digital approach in an interesting way to the customer. So we are walking in this path, and if the customer was talking in the path that acquiring knowledge, talking about this last year that we went to bed in a way and woke up in a completely different world. We see amazing results in terms of sales. Only at the commercial unit of Scanner Brazil, our sales and services, 90% of the sales were made in a virtual way, the service too. So we're talking here, and our team at Scanner Brazil did this all with the customer. And when we're looking to the seller directly with the customer, we had around 50% of the results done through virtual sales. The seller are still visiting in field, and when it was possible, done when it's the pandemic curve has slowed down. And I think that all this requirement from the seller's part that we had with the seller in terms of knowledge, it wouldn't be so fast, the growth, if we wouldn't have this abrupt moment, because we had this journey, we've been in this journey for a time, 6 years, but from the 90 day, we had to turn off the key and turn on again in a different way. It happened with our customers in a traditional sector as ours. It was impossible to imagine doing a negotiation, a sale, a detailed explanation in 100% virtual way and not looking eye to eye, explaining, showing the features or the scanners offer a value. And this personal contact, we lost it. But in the other hand, we were able in a fast way to provide this with a huge involvement of sales team, both from Scanner Brazil, support areas, and our sales force, the sellers from all the scanners of dealerships network to serve the customer, because in the end of the day, the customer first, always. And we always have an eye on it. It's interesting to know this journey is not starting right now. It comes from a time, and you keep this digital part humanized. We talked about that this week. The human factor in this technical environment is vital. So it's a scanner, and this is Scanner's way. Thank you. And now I'm going to Brazil to Peru. Let's change the language. We're talking in Spanish with Sandra Huerta. Bem-vinda. How are you? Hello, Ju. It's so good to participating in this Tech Week. It's amazing. We are all connected this way. I want to know, how is the experience in Peru? Because I imagine it has changed a lot in the part of products commercialization, trucks, and engines in Peru. How was the impact of the pandemic? The impact of the pandemic was something we were preparing ourselves 5 years ago with the digital presence, and mainly and the branding part, because we have the social media, but we have a thought, a commercial guidance. In the pandemic, it was to speed up this process, and we started to find the interesting language with all this paradigm of buying a truck or finding information to buy a truck in the digital way. So we are exploring this path, and we realized what the pandemic did was speed up this process. So we have 1.5 years to implement basically all of it. And we created a platform that would be basically for generating leads. We talk about Scanner Online. This is making our customers have access in real time of our sales force to acquire all the range of products and services, trucks, the workshop services, replacement parts. It was a challenge to launch this platform in 30 days. We could do it, fortunately, and the results are amazing. In fact, currently, our commercial dynamics is always focused on digital right now. In communication level, obviously, we have our traditional sale, as we know, due to impacts in pandemic, social distancing, and all the care we need to have with our sales force. They have a very good interaction, mainly in presential one, but it strengthened this network. Very good, Sandra. It's amazing that only in 30 days you were able to revolutionize all the scanners commercial part in Peru. I would like to know if there are the advantages and disadvantages when we digitalize commercial area. Can you tell us how does it work? Opening all this range of opportunities that digital presence gives us brings an important responsibility, mainly when we're talking about customer experience, taking care of the customer, mainly having the responsibility of assuring to our customer that all the channels where we are and we are offering to them, it's assure a scanner's experience. That's why everybody knows about us, and we are so proud of it. We have advantages, and the main one we can talk about is we are able to offer to our customers a real-time service. It means we are close to the customers that want real-time service, or the ones that need to fill a form and need more time, has a longer process to acquire all the information. And we provide both information to the customer corresponding to real-time service. Is it really a challenge because our sales force, we have such abrupt change, a fast transition. We didn't have a proper preparation to adapt to this channel. It normally happens with training and then we implement the channels. But because of the pandemic, we needed to do both in parallel. And first, at the beginning, we had a hard work to do with the sales force where they could understand and this channel that is so relevant as the presential one, and it will cause the same impact that having the customer at your side face to face. And the emotion that customer experience based on, it's the cement of the memory, where we are based on. And the way we generate this emotion, when we generate this emotion, we cannot turn back. We need to cement a good emotion. That's why we try to sensitize and make the capability to our sales force, because the servicing our digital channels could assure that. And talking on investment, clearly digitalization, talking about all the digital strategies, we are seeing we have lower costs in investment, higher reach, because with more investment, there are more people coming, and this allows us to establish smart objectives and having investment environment more tangible and immediate, as having a digital strategy guided to branding. And with that, I would like to close this idea, because the main difference or advantage I see in digitalization is currently the customer is looking for us. We're not showing signs on the streets and calling our portfolio. Now the customer is aware about the brand, and he's calling us by themselves. It's something fascinating, and what is changing the mindset of our sales force. Of course, all the roses come with spikes, and all the leads that we decide to work on, not all of them will turn into a sale. Some want to know about sales, other to make questions, and some customers are really interested in acquire a heavy transportation vehicle. Definitively, we have advantage and disadvantage in digitalization. For me, we have some more advantage than disadvantage. We are in a learning path, but we are totally focused, and we know that this process is 100% guided to our customers. No doubt, Sandra, this is a constant learning process. It's amazing how in Peru, people are really available to see that, and they are seeing how easy is use the digital, being everywhere, saving time, a lot of it. And we have comments, isn't it, Patty, on our chat? Yes, many comments. Dani Garcia is saying about sellers, the possibility of a more complete solution to the customer, the virtues, bringing the advantage of this virtual moment. And maybe we will go towards a hybrid path. Congratulations, Scanner family, always seeking continuous improvement. Beatriz is telling a good customer experience is essential to the success of the business. Scanner is always ahead with amazing tools. Keywords we saw in this last week, Sandra and Lana is learning. We are learning by doing a lot of things in here. Do we have more questions to follow? A last question to Sandra. Sandra? I would like to know from you as a marketing professional, can you talk about if digitalization will replace the current way of doing marketing? How do you see this transformation in this sector? This is an interesting question because, in fact, if we replace 100%, I don't think so. I think it will complement, and there will be a differentiation in the investment level you do in digital and in traditional way, but the experience, organization, this contact we have with the customer is something that will bring a differential to us. If digitalization is open channels, doors, and enables us to be connected for a longer time, we need to use that and integrate it to our commercial strategy, because something we should not is not something we can leave behind. The experience we have now of feeling, of senses, of knowing the trucks, seeing the cabin, and see how the truck works, talking about new models and digitalization. We are advancing, but it cannot replace this presential part. And I think they will complement themselves and will coexist. I have the same impression, Sandra, but we need to reinvent ourselves as a brand communication professional. Very well. I want to thank you all for your presence here with us. Such a pity that the time flies, and it was really, really interesting. People are really happy here. Thank you very much. I'm sure the guys at home, mainly from the commercial area, they are really happy.
Thank you, girls. Let's move on. We're gonna follow the next part, talking about how to offer better experience for our customer. But before, we want to know, how do you behave as a consumer? When you decide to buy the product or service, do you look for the sales representative? Do you look online? Do you search for recommendations? Do you inform from all sides to make the best decision, even if the process takes long. How do you consume? Who are you as a consumer? This is the second theme of our conversation. Use your QR codes. The other, I think I was very agile, but you can use the link as well. It's always on the bottom left side of the screen. We will be back soon, but we're gonna find the commercials. No. If I say commercials, you're gonna see how old I am, but we're gonna have 6 minutes, so go grab a coffee. In 2017, Kenya created the Logistic Lab to test and put in practice solutions for sustainable transportation in our operation. The concept of laboratory allows Kenya to learn and feel the pain of the customer and innovate and bring new solutions for products and services. The Logistics Lab is connected to Kenya's sustainability strategy. On our land transports, we have the goal of reducing emissions by 50% by 2025. We can monitor in real time what's happening inside our front, where the vehicles are, what is the load, the occupancy of rates in vehicles, and also connecting this with our sustainability. It's a tool from Scania where the customer has access in real time about everything that happens in the vehicle through a cell phone or any computer. A consultation of the positioning of the vehicle, what route it took, what distance it traveled, fuel consumption, what the driver is doing wrong that he can improve. So it's a tool that brings a wide range of possibilities. The Logistics Laboratory is the consolidation of Scania's global strategy to drive the change to a more sustainable transport system, and it demonstrates that it is possible to make this transformation here and now. It is a journey that will only end with the decarbonization of the transport logistics system. Going further is more than going from point A to point B. It's getting there optimally and safely. The Lux Group is Scania's technological arm for developing autonomous transport systems for the mining, agriculture, and forestry sectors. Have you ever stopped to think about the challenges that you have to manage your logistics flow? Lux Group has the solution for your business. High technology and partnership contributing to a more efficient management. The results are immediate from several perspectives. At Lux Group, we analyze and optimize the logistics processes with your company's financial and sustainability in mind. Because productivity, security, and technology are fundamental to your operation. Now, you have the chance to make your business even more profitable. This is the Lutz Group. Let's take your company into the future. For you, what's the most precious resource in the world? Some can say money, gold, fuel, but for a lot of people, this is data. Forms, websites, data is everywhere. But when you face yourself to a huge amount of data, what do? If you had data from over 30,000 vehicles in Brazil, what would you do? Here at Scania, we have a great solution. Felipe works at Scania Brazil, and he had an amazing idea to analyze the data from 30,000 connected people we have in Brazil to improve relationship with customers, sales and service, and to get a renovation of fleet based in a tailor-made tool. We know that connectivity is growing in the market, but all the solutions treat data numberly. For example, slow gear rates, that depends on the operation. We don't know if it's good or bad. So we have this proposal with a very minimalist and fit solution, we have a giant database and make it useful. We can see each customer's fleet and see the parameters of conduction, slow gear, inertia, downhill, anticipation, sudden brakes, and then we can evaluate customers driving from A to E. We're empowering our representatives. They can know the customer before visiting. They can get the Power BI on their phone and see how the customer behaves. This way we can prepare to offer the best solution for this customer. All of that is done through Power BI with data from operational data from vehicle. And then we avoid risk of using any personal data. We have many initiatives such this one at Scania.
The key to unlocking transport efficiency and sustainability is a completely connected system, where everything is orchestrated to optimize the movement of people, vehicles, and cargo. A new watch, delivered today to this customer on time. But it may not have been the shortest time or the quickest route, and it didn't find its own way. But in a connected, more sustainable transport future, it will. Because with the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, every single piece of cargo will be connected with the most efficient route through the whole logistics ecosystem, bringing sustainable solutions, unlocking the full potential of our transport networks and radically reducing wasted load space. At Scania, we've invested in connectivity for over 20 years, and since 2011, all of our new vehicles are connected. We have the data to understand logistics and just-in-time delivery like no one else, and are perfectly placed to deliver the connected transport solutions of the future, where every second in motion for everyone and every piece of cargo counts.
Olá de novo, pessoal.
Hello again, guys. We're back to the second part of our Scania Tech Week. We have a message for you guys. Please keep sending your questions at the chat on YouTube. If you're here with us, you can also send it on the chat. You can still come here. You need to send an email to TechWeek if you want to come to the cabin. Let's say hello to everyone who is here with us. Hello, guys. Are you excited? Are you liking the content? Oh, look at this famous pair from us for Tech Week. I'm seeing Igor as well. We have so many cool people. Don't leave us, guys. Jack and Pepe, please be here with us. And everyone from YouTube as well. If you couldn't watch our episodes from Tech Week, we have a playlist on YouTube. You can access it. We'll have all programs recorded, but we, of course, prefer you guys here with us live. We want to see also what you answered on our latest survey. We want to know, how do you behave as a consumer? Wow. The biggest majority. I'm the yellow one as well. Who are you? I think I'm zero. I look for the seller. I'm against the logic. Oh, you need to go into the digital transformation. The biggest majority informs through all sides, even if it takes more time. The second are the people who shop online. It doesn't matter if you're selling shoes or a truck. You need to prepare for this world. I think that's what we're going to talk about with our guests as well, right? Yes, we're getting into the second block of our Tech Week. We have a different consumption, a different type of consumption, mobility. We're going to talk about this with our second guest. She entered a factory at 16 years old for the first time, and since then she fell in love with transportation in the automotive sector. Now she's the associate director for Accenture and is totally focused on digital transformation. Our next guest promotes women's presence. Renette Fuchs is associate director and she leads a program called For Her, which aims into getting more women into the industry. Welcome, Renate. Welcome to Tech Week. How are you? I'm great. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very happy for being here with you guys today. Many cool people to talk to. Just so you see, Ju, we had many girls here with us. We're very well represented. So with this hook, I would like to ask you, what's your view with the contribution for this sector that is still led by women? How do you think the transformations we have can contribute to get more women participating? I'm very excited for being here. I saw many amazing women commenting, and you girls, this is a very important subject for me. It's part of my journey as an executive, as a woman. And just trying to tell a little bit more of my story and why is this team very important for me, especially in the automotive sector. I moved to Germany at 15. My father is from the industry as well. He worked at ZF, which is a big player. And this is where I started my journey. My first factory visits were there. My school breaks, I was there in line as an operator. My college breaks as well. I went into engineering. This was mainly masculine as well. I got my first internship at the sector. After college, I started consulting here with automotive since the beginning. But being at an environment that's mainly masculine is normal because that's how I got to know it. But when I got the first leadership opportunities, I started thinking, I'm always by myself here. I'm the only one or one of the only ones. And I started to question myself, why was that, if that was normal. I tried to adapt to that environment, brought my tough side, my structured planner side. I changed the way I dressed even to adapt. But looking back at the beginning of my career, that is what I found. But after time, I started feeling a little uncomfortable because it shouldn't be that way. We need to have more women here. We have CEOs, we have factory directors, We have seen many, many powerful women leading the industry and leading important teams with the 4.0 industry. For me, with BDI, I have been working with Industry for Her, which is an engineering qualification program for women to really reduce this gap. We have been working in the automotive a lot, and the demand is we don't have enough engineers. How can I bring women into leadership in the sector? But we also have the engineers that want to be a part of this. We want to help to really push it out there and to bring qualification regarding new technologies, what's happening in the industry, what's happening in digitalization, but also prepare these women for leadership roles, to being protagonisms for this change. I believe in the importance of representativity. Maybe for someone who is watching, women who are watching, they want to be at Tech Week, they're trying to work for that. And we also have an important path for companies, not only to create diversity, but to include diversity as well inside their companies. I can see a movement. I know it's an industry who is mainly masculine, but I can see some very important movement here locally. A lot of associations working for that to happen. And I can see the women I know more and more inside that sector working in these important teams to sustain all this innovation.
Wonderful, Renata, and you're not alone. It's really nice because the ones watching, the girls that want to come to the sector and work here and at home, you said it's important. You should be asking how we include diversity. This matters, everything we're doing. That's why it's here present at Tech Week. But it seems we have a comment, Juliana. We have many, Renata, they are loving to see a woman in here representing the feminine power in this sector. Vanessa Mello said women are crushing technology. They wrote us, it's really nice having women each time more occupying its space. How much representativity in this event? We are really well represented. Where I work in Scana, I'm the only woman. And it's nice to see so many women conquering their space. Let's go together, all of us. We're going from gender to talk about mobility. We also love this theme. Renate, we are in a technology event, Tech Week, where technology and mobility find each other. There is a meeting and we have it anyway. It's not something really new. In fact, I remember 2016 when I was in Germany, I had my first experience with mobility service. I need to move between cities and we didn't have much money because I was a student. They used a website so we could find, get a hitchhike. And then we could meet people in the same city that would go to the same destination. We could meet and we could pay some amount of money for doing this. And the first time I have access to a mobility service. And what we're doing now is that, but with much more technology. We're talking about online treatment, etc. But anyway, it's a solution, amazing solution that it's being propelled all over the world. And currently thinking on these mobility trends, you know, well, we talked a lot about this in here. Shared services, and connected vehicles, all these things demand so much technology. In the morning, you talked about connectivity. We know the Internet of Things, 5G, they are essential to collect data, to understand real-time movement. And I would like to highlight what we can do with all of this. The use of analytics and the use of artificial intelligence. That's really important. Not only collect the data, what I'm going to do with it. In the morning, they say it has to do with efficiency. Yes, we are able to optimize internal teams. We can work with predictive maintenance. We are able to work on the efficiency of the processes through all this data knowledge. But there's something important, really important for all the transportation companies is how can I, through this data, propel the revenue, the demands, allocate better my assets. How do I understand my customer better through the data, creating new services? And through all of it, we can work with efficiency, but I want to highlight this thing of creating new business models for also for revenue, and these technologies are providing this to us. We can say creativity and all the opportunities with technology are opening doors. We say about mobility as service. Customer making use of mobility, and you are bringing technology as a ways of anchoring or propelling this mobility. Being more inclusive, we're talking about that. It's easier, more accessible. That's what is behind when we're talking about mobility. But Renati, another question. Technology makes possible a series of innovations in mobility, but how can we assess the value of new services, new mobility services? Yes, we can do it. It's interesting because our chat in here is really turned to this issue of value to the individual. How can I create a service that is flexible with cost benefit, with is comfortable? We are always looking to the customer, but there are some other important points. For example, sustainability. In other words, with my new mobility service, will I help the environment? I am reducing CO2. Am I working in a good way? How am I bringing value to the society? Am I reducing traffic, the necessary space inside the urban areas? Am I reducing the investment necessary? And in the end, how through all of it am I generating value to the economy? All different aspects comprising mobility. And if companies are looking to it in a wider way, they will find out that many opportunities of working with city halls, governments to create innovative solutions which are sustainable, that can be integrated, and it would be a good path to follow. And I see Scania has worked a lot in all these contests inside our new mobility solutions. Something really important is the possibility of integration, connection of modal solutions and mobility as well. In your opinion, we are living the pandemic. We know it brought a huge impact on the issue of public transportation. It was an issue and it's still an issue. Do you have an insight for our audience about public transportation and technology, digitalization, mobility? What we have for the public transportation now? It's interesting your question because at the same time the car companies are digitalizing, creating products to create services. In the public transportation, we see a huge potential of digitalization and living from specific points of action to the society to a integrated platform. In the end of the day, if you want to go to point A to point B, I don't want to having to access many different models and see what fits better to me. Having an integrated platform where I can talk about my preferences, what am I looking for, where I want to be at a certain place, and get the best option through public transportation. That's what everybody wants. There's a huge field to work on, a huge field to understand the needs of the society, not only in urban areas, but but also looking to city, city from city, and say we talk about data capture, connectivity, understanding better the customer, how it will impact all these other dimensions I said before. This also work for public transportation. And here in Brazil specifically, we have a huge field to work on, to learn, to evolve. I believe everybody here suffer a lot in their daily routine to move in the cities, and let's wait a movement for the next years. I hope it will happen. Renati, I think it's a dream from all of us having an integrated platform where we can have a public transportation which is efficient for everybody. I have a comment here, Renati, coming from our YouTube channel, and there's a person that follows you for a long time on LinkedIn. Says that you are amazing, and he would like to know, Leonardo Rocha is asking, could you share any consulting project which is already concluded to the automotive sector, something that it would be insight for us? We have many. We cannot say openly about it what we had, but we have a lot of movement on how to prepare the car factories not only to strategic part on creating services, what can I offer to generate new ways of revenue, but how do I prepare the technology side so this will happen? How do I create the services platform? How do I operate the services platform? How do I develop the mobile part with interface with customers? There are so many things we can do in here. We can work on post-sales themes in a sense of making visible parts, enabling parts and services inside post-sale too. We have seen strategic projects of repositioning, opening of new services, but also we have important part of enabling companies so they can operate in a platform mode using technologies, agile methods to do all of it in a fast way to the market. Really good. That's it too. We have more questions to Renati, but I think we'll leave them in here and you will follow with the next one. Renati, we'll come back to you in a moment. Please wait a little bit because I have a huge meeting. The next guest knows Renati a lot, but they will meet again. They'll be here in the VIP area. He is working with the present, but with his head in the future. In the end of the line, his objective is introduce autonomous in forests, farms, mines, whatever it can do. Huber Mastelari now with his feet in the road, going in field, delivering logistics with high technology. Hugo, are you with us? Huber, are you with us? Yes, I'm connected. Good morning to you all. And thank you again for the invitation. It's our pleasure having you here with us to talk about something that we love, talking about transportation, logistic ecosystem, future changing. So to put everybody in the same page, I would like to ask you, Uber, what is Scania's challenge when creating loots, and how are you doing this? By the way, let's change the script. What Lutz is doing, and what was the challenge to do what you are doing today? Well, Lutz is a startup from Scania Group may focus on commercialization and operation of the future autonomous technology of Scania Group. And since we know we are developing prototypes, running many tests, at the current moment, we are operating flows with high potential of automation, mainly in confined environments, forests, farms, mines, and ports, with the purpose of preparing the way, the land, so our customers may access the new technologies we'll have soon. Very good. So that's what Lutz is doing. It's generating value to the logistic and transport ecosystem. Looking ahead, look to the future. That's good. Since when Lutz is operating here in Brazil, what do you see as a challenge of being a startup and bringing something so new in the logistics and transportation ecosystem? We had a global joint study in Sweden that Brazil and Latin America personnel were involved to understand about these technologies. We're talking about TechWeek, but which are the technologies? We have a letter soup we call ACE. It means autonomous vehicles, to all the part of connectivity and electrification. Vehicles moved by batteries and electric vehicles. And when we started deepening in this knowledge, we understood the current customers would face some challenges to receive this future technology. We started going to field, talk to sugarcane industries, companies working in the forest area, mining companies, to understand the reality. What support can we bring to you? So we're talking about connectivity, sometimes 5G, IoT, equipment integration, but my farm and my mine is in the countryside of Brazil, where we don't have any connectivity. The idea was, along with the customer, studying the best opportunities, technological opportunities for this case in specific, and being able to prepare the land, so receive these new technologies we are developing.
Oh, so Lutz's challenge is the customer challenge, right? Being well connected and discovering the best ways to apply it to real life. Yes, we like to joke that we are together with the customer, hugging them. We're talking about customer experience. If we stay in our offices developing ideas, we won't always have the most effective solution. Nowadays, we have vehicles, drivers, very technological control power. We operate these flows and we discover, along with the customer, what are the challenges to implement this technology. The guys who are participating like examples, one of the challenges is mapping and monitoring the ways. We talk about off-road sometimes. So we're talking about roads that are not paved. Imagine an autonomous truck with many radar sensors, artificial intelligence, operating on a road that is off-road with dust and holes and all of that. This is one of our challenges, how to monitor, anticipate, and improve the off-road tracks so technology can be effectively implemented. This is a huge change. I saw a question that was earlier about the line of production. What are the companies doing to get closer to the customer? So nowadays, Scania and everybody in the sector really has talked a lot to people off sector, trying to improve technology. We have some studies with local startups, Brazilian startups, and we always try to look into partnerships at the Silicon Valley, in Israel. We talk and develop solutions along with the customer through third parties to speed up the process. This is a huge challenge that we have been facing at Scania, talking about being agile and trying to bring improvement to the customer. We know that nobody changes the world by themselves, so we really need to establish partnerships. We need to match the values, understand, listen. We have different solutions, different maturities, but it has been working, right? Yes, Ju, do you have comments on our chat? Celso says that it's excellent to know about the startup, and congrats Uber Scania for searching into innovation and future. There's a comment from Luis Alves thanking Scania for this event. Thank you, Scania, for this event with amazing interpreters. And we have great themes, one better than the other. From our cabin, we have Luciano da Costa. Understanding better, going to the field to see the difficulties. Stay with us, interact, and we'll be back soon for more questions. I can say that Lutz is a startup and should be a unicorn soon. We're gonna follow and work a lot for that. When you talk about the customer, this different approach, being beside the customer, what would be the pitch? We talk about marketing and communication, but how do you approach the customer and talks about a solution about a look that sometimes the customer doesn't have? A lot of times they don't know what they need. Exactly, and especially this confined sector, people were very conservative. We need to be very careful when approaching customers. And this pitch is very funny. I'm a mentor for some startups here in Brazil, and people say, help me sell, help me convince the customer that my technology will help. So how did Lutz get into the initial customer 3 years ago? How could they advance? Now we have 5 big contracts in operation in our country. But basically, you know the elevator pitch? In 30 seconds, you have to sell your idea. We got to the customer and we basically said, would you like to be the first company in the country or in your sector to receive a technology of an autonomous vehicle, bringing efficiency and sustainability from the highest level in your operations? If yes, we have Lutz to support you throughout this way. We were really pioneers in breaking barriers and developing together. This pitch, a lot of people try to offer a black box solution. I have a solution, but it's mine and I'm developing it. You're just a user. But we are developers of technology. We are calling the customers to be our partner, to develop and to share with us. And when we started doing that, we saw that we could advance and people were more interested in this. Thank you, Uber. If you're following, if you have a startup, you already have a pitch, you got a great class from Uber. We have a question on our chat from Leonardo Rocha. He said, this perspective from Lutz is incredible. Brazil has a scenario of infrastructure and roads that is very different from Europe. How have you been in touch with other startups in this challenge? Yes, it's great to have a true example talking about our Brazilian roads. We don't have excellent roads, and that brings a lot of risk. Concern on security. This is our main concern. We care for health and safety of our employees. We have tried to look into technologies, and one that we got and we're very satisfied is a monitoring solution. We have monitoring cameras for better drivability and to avoid accidents. We're talking about trucks with ton-sized cargo, with roads that are not so great, that elevates the risk. We partner with that, and since 2018 when we started, it has been a huge success. We have 5 cameras in all vehicles from our fleet. It's a front camera with artificial intelligence that detects if the vehicle is following the painted lines in the roads, scans all the road signs, has a sensor for brakes. It has a sensor that monitors the driver's eyes and suggests pauses if they're tired. We have also a side camera that reads if the driver is on their phones or gets their hands off the wheel to maybe grab a cigarette or something. So we have those 3 cameras that are very smart, and we have 2 cameras on the back monitoring the environment. In the beginning, our first drivers felt a little at a reality show. They weren't very comfortable with this monitoring. But once they started seeing and understanding the results, the benefits, and what we could avoid, there's no discussion. We did not have any big proportion accidents. We've had small little collisions. So we had a significant reduction in accidents. And when we talk about operations, we had to get into the humane and social part, talking about TechWeek and technology. Technology made us understand the social part of where we operate. We had a problem in an operation where drivers from the graveyard shift were more tired. Of course, it was expected as they work graveyard. It's expected for graveyard shifts to be with bigger fatigue. But we started seeing people that had other jobs during the day and then were night drivers, or other people who couldn't rest during the day due to the family organization. Depending of the region, the temperatures were very high and people couldn't sleep during the day due to the high temperatures, or sometimes people took medication to sleep during the night. But technology started generating data and real information, and our team was able to work with this data and help the person to improve the quality of their lives, to deliver better results, not just for the company, but for a safer drivability on roads that are really public. We had a challenge from the roads that could cause accidents. We went after a solution in technology. We applied it, but we really had to get into the social sphere to assure more security. Wow, it's amazing to see that human and technology together. Do we have another question for Uber? Yes, we do. This comes from João Cardoso on our cabin, and it has to do with other companies just as Scania. How is it to combine the agile mode of Lutz, which is a startup, with the 100-year-old culture from a company such as Scania? This is a new scenario in the transportation sector. Yes, we have positive sides as usual and negatives as well. We have already mentioned some challenges. On the positive side, we have a history inside the group, information of the vehicles, customer, a huge database, engineering department with over 200 engineers. In Sweden, we have over 1,000 employees in this area. So it's very nice to have a company that, even though it's over 100 years old, about 130, is always innovating. But what is really changing, it is the speed. We need to increase the speed of this innovation. And just as any big company, we have some bureaucratic processes that slow down the daily life. It's a wise decision of Scania from creating Lutz, is trying to develop a more independent environment. We have independent processes. We are in a co-working. We have technology systems, independent process, of course, following all the policies from the group, but we really have the autonomy of management, contracts, everything, and that enabled us to speed up the process. We started less than 3 years ago, and now we have over 600 employees, 5 big contracts. It grew into a greater dimension. Before we had 2-3 people visiting customers. Now we have 6 offices in Brazil, 1 in São Paulo and 5 spread over. So this agility of a startup, combining people from Scania Group and people from the market, it really works. Really, the growth is amazing. Thank you so much, Uber. It's nice to know. How many of you guys are watching us and you didn't know Lutz's journey and now you're getting to know? If you're a student and you're following us, we have 2 offers. Be part of Lutz or be part of Scania. You will be really well in both cases. Now, Uber, we've talked. We're going to have our cabin moment. I want to call Uber and say some Uber tips. He recommended some books. If you think, oh, I'm at a startup and I really want to innovate, you can see in your screen some books. If you're interested, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to work in the logistics sector, you have some Uber tips. Take a print screen, a screenshot of that and read and keep on going. Now we're gonna go to the most famous one in history. We have a lot of people here. Everybody's excited. I can see some faces. We're gonna open and give the floor to our guests, and let's see who is going to be the first to ask a question. We have Uber and Renate here on screen.
So, questions for our guest. Janderson is talking. He'll make a question. Hello, how are you? You're small, Anderson. Oh, okay, now. Everything is okay with you, Patrícia, Julia, Uber, Renate. I'm Jean. I'm from Manaus. I participated in 2018-17. Now I'm a commercial manager in a hotel boat. I'm graduated in mechanical engineering. My question is to Renate. The digitalization follows the understanding of the customer needs and creating a customized environment of user experts. We know small companies, and he's seeing the marketing as Manaus. We struggle to implement ideas, and where we take these things where we have less use of digitalization. From Manaus, direct to you, Renati. That's so nice. Nice to meet you. Is a pertinent question. Yes, we have all this talk around customer, user experience, etc. But customer service with a good quality, a good delivery, a good cost benefits, it's not new. It always existed. But now we have a level of customization and individuality to customers. It's a higher level now. And it's a no return. We need, as a company, capturing what are the desires, the needs, and organize ourselves internally to the delivery. A smaller company, it's important to know how to keep focus. What is my niche? Who are my customers? In whom I have to bet? So to bring the correct digitalization level and implement something new, it's important. But we know currently technologies are each time more accessible. And another tip I have, besides knowing better who is my group of customers and how to treat these technologies, address these technologies, to have a proper channel with my customer. How can I look outside to the ecosystem, look to partnerships? With whom could I work to use these technologies? Participating on the innovation ecosystem, which is really open and accessible here in Brazil, may generate many opportunities, new ideas. So these companies are able to understand how the way of thinking of a startup working in technology, how are they organized internally, and how they are able to generate business along with other companies. That would be my tips. Did you have it wrote it down, Jander? Do we have anyone else at the VIP box? Igor? Hello, good morning to you all. First, congratulations for the event, the content, all the insights you are bringing are really cool. I'm Igor. I won Innovaton 2018. I'm working in a startup called AgeWall. I'm focused on digital identity, digital on board. And my question is to Uber. We know LGP is bringing changes, adaptations. Companies are, for a long time, they are planning themselves and putting to force the things in a wider way now. In Lotus, the sector you are, how we're addressing that, and what's the impact it brought internally to your sector? Yes, for sure. We are aware to the data generation. I can use the previous example of cameras. For example, I have 5 cameras monitoring a person, a collaborator, and besides that, I have access to telemetry. I know the way he's working, his name, the consumption. We have much information from collaborators with our working on our assets. What we did was first understanding the legislation. We had first adapting the labor contract so our collaborators are aware of the data being monitored, and after an internal handling of people with information, explaining how they will be stored, the way it had to be handled correctly. And an example, once I been in a course with Italian teacher, and they made a question that summarized this dilemma of talking on the processes. Everything is coming to a block development of new technologies. And we are not seeing things like this. We are seeing as a protection so we can advance properly. When a person made this question to the Italian professor, you can see about compliance, data security, and assuring innovation to companies. He brought an example of a company, also Italian company, that produces brakes, and the guys at the company said, I don't develop brakes so you are able to brake, to stop your vehicle. I develop the best brake possible in the world so you are able to speed up the most you can. And in case you need to brake, the technology is available. That would be the metaphor I would bring. The legislation exists, you have to understand it, but it's not blocking the growth. It's only bringing protection. So you are able to create information without putting in risk any property, human information from our collaborators. Very well. That's it. Let's move on. There's another person at the VIP box. I will call Emily. She wants to make a question to Renati. Good morning, Emily. Good morning, everyone. My name is Emily. I'm internship at Scania in sales and marketing area. And my question is to Renati. First, I would like to thank you all participating in this event. It's really interesting and it's bringing so much knowledge. Renati, with the pandemic, there's a increase in acquiring information on many process of products and services acquired by customer. We have as example what's happening, I believe, with everyone currently when we are acquiring any product online. Did you notice any change on this desire of receiving more information? Thanks for your question, Emily. I noticed, and I can talk about a study we have at Accenture that is looking for the Brazilian customer behavior. We have a side of this studies that was focused on Brazilian customer, and how we changed during the pandemic. It's interesting because the customer we knew before, that we were before, it doesn't exist anymore. Now, we have in post-pandemic, everything that happened, we have different habits, many different habits. We had to change our life in a drastic way. And this changed a lot the way we are buying, we are searching, the way we are searching for product and information. We are now much more digital, much more. We're doing everything with our cell phone, computer. People that a time ago used to search for a sale, that they used to go to the store, try on things. Now they're doing all of it from home. And there was an expressive increase regards the purchase through digital channels, over 60, 70%. And when we're talking about on the expectation of this new customer, keeping these digital channels open, this contact through digital platforms, we have an expectation of 80, 90% that it will remain. And so it's a no return. Many companies that had e-commerce in their priority list, they had to anticipate many things, not only to be able to sell their products online, but to deliver them passing the information not only related to the product, but to the shipping, understanding better what the customer is searching, to keep the dialogue open, keep selling. And the pandemic is speeding up something that was a plan, that was foreseen, but it sped up a lot the way the companies were prepared to this new customer. And thinking in my own experience in the beginning of the pandemic, when I start buying more products online, I remember that it took a long time to arrive. We didn't have much information. The channels were not well structured to serve the demand. And now I see bigger agility. I hope I have answered your question, but for me, it's a non-return way, and companies are trying to serve us. They're trying to serve this customer that now is an individual one. He needs customization and a fast and good service. Making digital in a good way. That's what we talk about this week. Last question from the VIP box, please. Wait until the end. We have things to come. Good morning. Good morning. Are you hearing me well? What a beautiful accent you have. Thank you. I'm Natalia. I'm an international relations student from Alagoas. I was a winner in 2019 to Inovaton Scana. For Uber, I'm curious on automation. I read his interview in a magazine commenting on that. How do you see this Brazilian scenario? We depend a lot on the railway network, this highway network. My father was a truck driver. How do you see this technology here implemented here in Brazil? Thank you for your question and for reading the magazine, my interview. We define in 3 stages. First, we will adopt technology in confined environment. In a second moment, we say about highways connecting two operational centers, and the third stage in urban centers. When we're talking about confined environments, Brazil has a huge potential because so many mining companies, agribusiness companies, farms. We have many environments able to adopt starting technology in controlled environments. In Brazil, we are ahead. In agribusiness here in Brazil, it's a benchmark in many points all over the world. However, when we're talking about the second, third level, taking technology to a highway and further in urban environments, we have many challenges because of the highway infrastructure, legislation. Brazil is now starting with the discussions when compared to other countries around the world. I would say we are good in the beginning, but we have some warning points now that further ahead we'll have to speed up many connective points of the structure and legislation, so we don't will not be behind on the other countries. Thank you, Renate, Uger, and all of you, please wait. We will end this with a selfie with our VIP box. Renate, Uber, they were brilliant in their talk. We had the VIP box with Igor, Emily, Natalia, Janderson from Manaus. We went to Alagoas later. It was really nice. We are saying goodbye to you today. We are closing with Uber. Tomorrow we'll have Håkan Shield. We'll bring about the future. You're interested about ACE, he told about here today. Tomorrow we'll talk about it. We start at 10 until noon. We'll close the beautiful Tech Week. We're waiting for you from 10 tomorrow. A future society, a new generation of talents. And the new generation is the one here. Now we'll close. We'll do a selfie here. We cannot live without a selfie. A beautiful one, a giant one. Okay? Please don't close your cameras. Awesome. Now you watch our video. Our IT team is amazing. Everybody's communicating, a nice invitation. So you will follow this transformation journey here with us at Scania, because Scania is tech, but it's people. A kiss for you all. See you tomorrow. Bye.
We are more than 200 professionals divided in several areas. Here in the solutions areas, we developed systems in several technologies such as SQL, AWS, Oracle, Angular, .NET, and our products support all areas of Scania, from the tip in selling our products and services. We go through all the planning and logistical supports to the final assembly in our factories to ensure the quality of our products. For all this to be done with quality and security, here at Infrastructure, we have several teams that work with databases, virtualization, server and client operation system, cloud and automation. Connectivity and collaboration are also very important pillars for us. If there are deviations in any of our IT services, our incident management team is available 24/7 to ensure the incident is solved and to make sure the service is restored as quickly as possible. We cannot forget that we are always learning and looking for innovation. We have several challenges in the area of data, chatbot, RPA, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Do you want to be a part of these challenges with us? Come be a tech and make the change towards a sustainable transport. Come to Scania.